Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. In today's video we will be finishing fitting the cams that we started off originally. Actually, if I'm completely truthful with you, it's about 10 minutes after I finished the previous video because we actually have a solution. Okay, so just as a caveat, we do actually have a R56 outside that is a donor car. Tim bought it for his own use. We have plundered a few bits off of it, and actually, thankfully, we could plunder these to still be able to go home. So they are coming off. Did they just come off quite nicely, or did that come off?
They do. They don't come off too badly, actually.
So, for example, if you were doing this at home, you could legitimately use your ones if you absolutely needed to.
Yes, definitely, 100% you can. They interlock into each other. Very, very, very difficult to show on camera, but if I try and show you, put them over very carefully, very gently. One in, one edge in, the other edge should overlap, push in, and then that's it. They lock together.
That's pretty cool.
Just means you've got an overlapping edge. If you haven't, they will still fit tight together, but you've got more chance of losing oil pressure.
Nice. Okay, so for example, if you were buying them, obviously we'd recommend to replace them. 100%. We've had a quick look. BMW, they're about sort of £10 maybe, direct from dealer. I think that might possibly be plus VAT, that might be each. But we can obviously supply them if you buy the kit, or for the sake of saving 20 quid, you could also obviously reuse your other ones. But yeah, let's get them in.
This is messy, but you always want to pre-grease everything, pre-oil everything. This is Lucas assembly lube.
Does it matter if it goes over the edges?
No, not at all. Not at all, because this entire part is internal to the engine. Right, again, next one. This is where a cam cap would be.
The bits that we just took off, these bits here?
Yes. A good amount over each of them. And
the reason for us doing this is because there isn't any oil on it to begin with, so if we put it in dry, it wouldn't spin nicely. Yeah,
you'll have too much friction there until oil pressure built up and there was a good amount of oil to them. You don't want it to start up dry, so whenever we rebuild an engine or anything, this is what always goes on every part.
I've got a question.
Yep.
Could you dip your finger in the oil in your engine rocker cover and just put some of that on?
Yeah, that's true, and use the old stuff.
You can. I wouldn't advise to do that. I would advise to have a clean bit of oil. So if you've bought, obviously, oil and filter to do your car, I would recommend pouring a little bit of the oil. Bearing in mind the R56 takes 4.5 litres of engine oil, so you would generically buy 5 litre can of it. Pour some out into the lid of a spray can lid, something like that you'll probably have kicking around at home, you know, even if you use another family member's hairspray, the top off of that. Anything like that, just pour a bit of the oil into it, put your finger into it and rub it round. The only thing is it's thin. This, as you can see, hasn't run off. It's all still there, so it's thick. So while you're assembling it, it doesn't just run away. That's why it's assembly lube. It's much thicker.
Come on, let's get it in.
Make sure none of the rocker arms have come off of the top of the valves.
So could they come off?
Yeah.
They're just balanced?
Really?
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. So you have to make sure they're central.
It's only when you fiddle, they can sometimes
How
pop
funny
off.
would that have been if we got it on camera? It just dropped, it went straight down.
I would not be laughing.
I would.
Let's put it that. See,
so
there.
I can get
See,
one off the current side.
the end slots in. Just put it at an angle. You get it roughly lined up. Be careful of these rings when you're assembling it. Rotate it back slightly so you've got where it should be, about there. It doesn't sit perfectly flat, but obviously they won't.
Easy like a Sunday morning.
Right, let's put the grease on this one, put them both in.
What would happen if you did actually genuinely turn the key right now to start it?
The crankshaft would
Snap his
spin.
dipstick.
Yeah, I mean it would. It would. Apart from the chaos that would cause, wrapping itself up and jamming the bottom of the engine up.
No, it wouldn't though, would it? Because
It would.
the crankshaft wouldn't spin.
Yes, it would.
It's
Crank-
locked.
Oh, okay. In terms of the
Oh!
if you're going to start a motor or
Right,
click,
okay, so I've secretly gone underneath the car, pulled out the locking... Well, to be fair, I saw how difficult it was to put in, so I know I'm not going to pull it out, but say I've pulled it out and you didn't know, and you've gone in there and you just turned the key, is all this going to come flying out at me with oil?
At the moment, the top of it will do nothing because
Oh.
the top's not attached by the chain. The chain will get itself sucked down, most likely, because it won't spin freely right on that because it's kinked. It will then jam itself up at the bottom, but it won't touch any valves because the valves are all in the closed position.
That's what it's worth doing.
Yeah, it will just cause damage everywhere else.
It won't be massive destruction, it will just be, bit destruction.
Yeah.
Should we try it?
No.
But you got a spare one out there.
Yeah, I know. Problem is that the engine in the spare one has destroyed itself on all four pistons. So that will be rebuilt. And that will be the forged one, I think.
How many is that?
Huh?
How many minutes does that make us
Good,
own?
That sounds like I've got to pay out for forged engine parts. Yay!
That's all right. We've got enough engines here to forge an R56 and R53.
It does also lock Tim into working here forever, so...
Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Well, it does when you work at £2 an hour, Tim.
To be fair, it'd be good to finally get someone good in.
With a bit of passion.
And it'd be nice to finally go and work for an employer that's half decent.
Go on, Tim, dance.
No!
Okay, so... I'm assuming it's just everything that we've done in backwards, yeah?
Yep.
So don't tighten them, getting them all a little bit. Actually, to be fair, it is worth saying this. Again, in terms of how we're putting this back together again, I would like John to look at me so he knows I'm trying to point upwards. But in terms of putting it back together, obviously these should all be new bolts and everything. I mean, this is kind of a bit of a trial and error car. Sorry, Tim, but it is a bit of a trial and error. So if something was to happen, we know exactly why. So if it is your car and you've just spent the money to buy all new bits, I would recommend going for new bolts as well. They'll be from BMW. Again, if you're having trouble, we can supply them, but you can probably just go to your local dealer and get hold of them. But yeah, we'll put all of those on. Yeah, as you can see, Tim's just kind of doing it very, very loosely until there is a slight resistance. And then we'll go and get the torque bar. And then putting everything back together again. Shall we record the whole thing putting it back together again? Or shall we just kind of skip to once the rock cover's on? Let's skip to the rock cover and most of it be back together again so we can actually start it up and see what it sounds like. Okay, I'm just going to slightly interject because if I was doing this on my drive, I wouldn't know how to put that back on. Is there a procedure?
Only to the point it goes on that way, that face there goes onto the camshaft, not that way.
Okay.
That way goes on. Put it into the chain.
Does it not matter where it goes?
No, not at all.
No links or anything?
No, no, not at all.
So you just want it to be tight with resistance?
Yeah, put
Like
that
as in
there.
that end there, you need to be pulled tight?
We won't, that doesn't matter at the moment, as long as it's on there.
Okay.
Put the bolt in.
Don't drop it. Or ideally don't drop it, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Got a spare one out there?
Yeah, we've got a spare one out there. You want to do this one up so it's on there, but not tight, so you can still
Oh, okay.
do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Could you pass the other? Oh, okay, you hold that.
The less steps, the better.
Now we go for the other pulley.
How's that got a mark
So-
on it? Does that mark not matter?
No,
Okay.
nothing, no. Other pulley goes onto the chain. It's got ridges, and you just slot it over. Again, doesn't support brilliantly, so be very careful.
You're like you could do with a new pair of gloves, Tim.
No. Pull them loose. Then you put the top guide on. Now they're done up, you now use this tool. This is to preload the timing chain, to do the cam bolts up, then you put the tensioner in once it's done.
Oh, so that's different to the R53 as well?
Yep. Oh yeah, you've got a you're meant to preset the...
And what is that doing? That's pushing
so
against the chain to make it
down
tight.
there, John, watch the gear as I'm doing it up.
Oh, okay, yeah. I can see it moving.
It's taking the slack
Can you see that, John? I understand now why you've had to pre-tension it, because it's locked at the bottom so the chain physically can't move.
Yeah.
But if you were doing that with the chain there, it would
You'd
just
end
be
up
moving.
with slack on this side and you don't want slack on this side.
That makes sense. That's cool to see it in action.
Remove the tool. This tool, the top timing bars and the lower locking, flywheel locking pin, all come in a kit, the kits you buy for it.
And you can buy those pretty much anywhere, can't you? From Amazon to eBay,
Yep.
all the way through.
Yep.
Obviously, the cheaper kit's not potentially being as strong or using multiple times.
Yes, yeah. There's also an element of accuracy in the kits. Obviously, if you're going to be doing a lot of them, you're best going for a branded one. Quality is usually a bit better.
Also, in this sort of situation, realistically, from a workshop point of view, we wouldn't really do this without changing the chain, unless you had physical hard proof that it was a new chain to begin with. Is that right?
Yeah, within reason, as long as it wasn't too old.
I keep touching my hair with really greasy, oily fingers. That's going to be really greasy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Right, we'll all ignore that.
You're doing it again.
I am touching my face still. Right, we have taken out the locking tool from the crank, and Tim is now going to basically turn over the car by hand.
Twice. Crankshaft you turn over twice.
Okay,
So
so
it's handy.
basically the crankshaft turns twice to every once that the camshaft turns. So that's what we're just basically doing to make sure that everything is in time, nothing is banging, nothing is getting locked, nothing is wrong, basically.
I've thought of something. Anyone doing it at home,
Yeah.
be a good idea to take, I don't know, some body touch-up paint, your partner's eyeshadow, something like that.
What?
Anything to mark. Put a mark.
Don't use
so you can look
eyeshadow.
at it. Okay.
Or just use
lip
a
gloss.
permanent pen, something like Tipex maybe. Absolutely not eyeshadow.
Yeah, I mean, who has Tipex, really? Most people don't have Tipex.
I love Tipex. I used to Tipex my nails at school.
Oh, God, so did I. I did, really did.
Apparently just use Tim's eyeshadow.
So what? I did. Look, you're telling me you never sat there in class bored and used Tipex, just go, I'm bored, I'm just going to cut, and then wait for it to dry and then scratch it off.
Okay, it's making my
No?
teeth go on edge right now. But I did do that.
What, you did?
Yeah, I did do that. Okay, so the bottom has been checked, as in we have rotated the engine. Nothing seems to be the problem, so we have put the locking tool back in the bottom so that we can check the timing at the top. And it's all looking good.
That's literally spot on.
Excellent. Well, that is really good. Okay, now really, really, really want to get the rest of it back together again so we can hear what it sounds like when it starts. Okay, and we are back together again. What is it oil looking? All good?
Good, yeah.
Excellent. So, realistically, we only have to just turn the key. What do you reckon? What do you reckon? I'm actually really nervous.
Let's see.
Okay, right. Actually, just joking, guys. You're going to have to watch the next video. I hope that you've enjoyed this one and it's been informative and everything. And in the next video, we shall show you the actual first of the turning of the key and watching 2 cams flying out the front door. I'm joking. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please hit the like and subscribe, and we shall see you in the next video.